gang, Akil here. Welcome back to another episode of the Trading Coach Podcast. Thank you as always for your support. Got a little bit of a heated, impulsive episode today, but those are the kinds you guys like the most. So I'm excited about sharing it with you. Now, before we jump into today's episode, I want to remind you that on April 6th through April 9th, we are having our 4-day free online trading workshop called Ascension. It's going to be an awesome event. The link is in the show notes. You can also head over to www.tier1trading.com and sign up. It's online. Many of us across the world are quarantined or stuck at home, so you've got nothing better to do than really spend a few days figuring out how to gain control of your finances, and next time a situation like this happens, be in a better position to succeed. And that kind of rolls into today's topic, and it all starts with a post I saw on the Instagram, right? By the way, follow me on Instagram if you don't already. I am a pleasure to follow. It's not real trading and geeky like that. I kind of like to show the inner workings of my life, working out, my family, funny stuff. Every once in a while, I'll hit you with some trading knowledge as well. But if you ever need kind of a relief from the day-to-day stresses of like the market or life or your job, I'm a good follower. I try to bring humor into your life. But I follow a lot of people on Instagram, mainly those who post kind of motivational quotes and pictures and content like that, because I personally use that as something that gets me up for the day, right? I spend a good portion of my day, especially in the beginning, just looking through Instagram, trying to find motivational material to get me pumped and inspired for the day. And that's just a habit I've done ever since I was out of college and unemployed, just to kind of not be depressed and whatnot. And I found that it's pretty powerful. And I came across one today. This person may get they may not be a follower, or they may not be followed by me for long. But it was a post, and the title says, "You must increase your income." And then below it, it says, "Canceling Netflix for $10 a month isn't going to help you. Making your own coffee to save $5 isn't going to help you. Income must be increased. Cutting back on basic garbage is fine, but don't pretend you're making progress. Make more money, spend it however you want." And I'll tell you what is garbage. This post. This is the most garbage thing I've seen in a while. And I hate it because there are a portion of people out there that believe it. And this is the type of stuff that is poisoning people's mind. This is the type of stuff that Jason Greystone and myself have really dedicated a good portion of our life to kind of debunking this thought process in hopes of getting people financially literate, getting people to understand money, how it works, wealth creation, how to get on the track to becoming wealthy, because many people come to us with this mindset. And I'll break it down from a few perspectives. First of all, if you're new to the podcast, you don't really know I guess my opinion on wealth creation is that it's pretty simple to become wealthy. Not easy by any means, but pretty simple, right? One, spend less than you earn, right? Spend less than you earn. Just like any type of profitable business, right? They bring in more than they put out, right? Spend less than you earn. And then with whatever you have left, invest it in something, right? And I say invest it in something because when you invest money, right, your money now creates money. So it essentially becomes a secondary job, right? Not only do you have your main job, but now your money, while you're at your main job making a check, your money's off to the side making a check as well. And that money continues to make money without necessarily you committing any time to it. And although in the beginning, for many of you, it doesn't really seem like it will create much, over time, if you're familiar with I guess, just compounding and stuff like that, you can see that as it continues to work, as you continue to add to it each month and grow it and grow it and grow it, percentages of return equal bigger monetary amounts. Just basic math, right? And the best way, I'm a big believer in addition by subtraction. I'm a big believer in it when it comes to trading, right? I just put out a video today talking about how I made 4 trading mistakes this week. It was a bad week. It was a bad week. But I made 4 trading mistakes this week. 2 were missed trades, 2 were just bad trades I shouldn't have been in. And if I just would have reversed that, just addition by subtraction, if I just would have got rid of the 2 bad trades, I would have had a profitable week, right? So getting rid of your mistakes is the easiest way to improve. And financially, it's the same way. If you haven't done so already, I advise that every single person does this, and you do it multiple times a year, but you do a latte experiment, right? And I'm sure there's different names for it, but it's the latte experiment is basically where you track your spending habits for a certain duration of time. It could be a week, it could be a month, it could be a quarter. I would say at least a month. That way you get a kind of a bigger picture of all the bills and whatnot that you're getting hit with. And you go through it at the end of that period, and you ask yourself, what is necessary? What is kind of a want but not a need? Like, again, Netflix, for example, like, I like Netflix, right? Money Heist and Ozark are coming out soon, so I kind of want it, but it's not a necessity, say like a mortgage or your health insurance or something like that. And you track those things, and then you start cutting the fat. So you say, okay, what if I eliminated all of the unnecessary expenses? My example, which is infamous, and you guys love making fun of me, is always the amount of money I used to spend at one point on dark chocolate Milky Ways, Gatorades, and Baby Bell cheese. Because on my way to track practice, I happened to pass a store. I'd have the munchies. I'd go there and I'd spend $6 on this stuff every single day, and that added up to like $100 a month or something like that. It didn't seem like it because it's it's like $6 every day. Like, what's the big deal? But 6 times 5 is 30, right? Before you know it, you're over $100 for the month if it becomes a habit. And it could be $100 a month. Isn't necessarily a massive deal to me in my financial situation, but it's money I don't need to spend. And for some people, that could be the difference between paying your rent and not paying your rent. So going over the unnecessary spending and cutting it out is the best way to save money, right? Now you've eliminated $200 of unnecessary expenses. And essentially what you've done is you've gained $200 without working another hour, right? I mean, what's another way to gain more income, right? You work more, right? And there's nothing wrong with doing that if you're kind of in grind mode, right? Where you're trying to save a certain amount. I always say, hey, if you got to work for a year cleaning toilets like I did, do it and then use that money for something. But you can't carry on with that for the rest of your life, nor should you want to. Trust me, I went through a period where I was working 3 jobs, making $30,000 a year. I was out of college. I owned the duplex that I lived in, so I was living rent free, and I was just grinding, stacking money, and then I just got tired. And I'm young. I was young. I was like 21, 22. I shouldn't be getting tired. I just got tired because I was burning myself out for a year, and I started looking towards the future. And I said, I'm not going to be able to do this forever, nor do I want to, because I wasn't having any fun at life. I was basically, wake up, eat, work, sleep, repeat, right? There was a little bit of school in there as well, master's degree. But that was basically my life, no fun. So the best way to earn money is to save money, because you're making money without committing any more time. And time is everything. You guys got to understand that, right? So run that experiment on yourself. But I'm looking at this. Sorry, this is the thing of doing a live podcast. Let me mute that real quick. But I'm looking at this, and I did a poll on Instagram. Let me just bring this up real quick, because I was actually, again, I know I shouldn't be surprised, guys. I shouldn't be surprised. I know what people kind of think, and it's a little bit better right now. But the first poll I ran, right, I asked, do you agree with this? Do you agree that you must increase your income, blah, 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 blah. I just showed the statement. 59% said no, 41% said yes. So it's a little bit more than it's 60-40, which is not bad. I then went on to an explanation, kind of like what I'm doing to you right now, and it turned to 80-20. So we educated a few people, which is great. But here's the problem with this mindset, right, of chasing the money, right? Make more money and spend it however you want. Here's the deal, right? If you have bad spending habits, if this is the root, the core issue, the core flaw that you have, if you have bad spending habits with a little bit of money, what do you think is going to happen when you make a lot of bit of money? Do you think your bad habits are suddenly going to disappear? No, they're going to go with you. You're going to be broke as well, right? For example, look at how many of these professional athletes end up broke. These guys are making millions and millions and millions of dollars and ending up broke. How does that happen if you have good spending habits? It doesn't. You have bad spending habits. You spend whatever you want to spend. You figure you'll make it later, right? It's basically living check to check, and eventually that ends. And there was a comment from Riley left a comment on the Facebook page. He said, and this is a great example. I'm proud of him putting himself out there. He said, look, when I made my first 100K, right? Humble brag right there, letting you guys know I made 100K. I like it, Riley. When I made my first 100K, I had spent it even before I had it. I'll repeat, when I made my first 100K, I had spent it even before I had it. Long story short, I almost lost everything because I had such bad spending habits deep in the core. So basically, he was spending the money before that check ever came in. And so many of us are living that way. So many of us are living check to check, right? Let me ask you guys this question, right? Jason Greystone, right? If you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to his always free podcast, always free newsletter, and make sure you're involved with his Tears of Freedom stuff. He's dropping, better education than what they teach you in college, or maybe what they should be teaching you in college. But let me ask you guys this, right? Because he talks a lot about cash buffers. You want to have a cash buffer as basically your safety net, right? That is your wealth. Wealth is, basically how much time can you exist without needing to work and get a check. If your job were to fire you right now, and I feel bad saying that because we're actually in a situation with this coronavirus deal where a lot of people are getting fired and whatnot. How long can you survive? Think about those monthly expenses, right? Insurance, mortgage, maybe car payment, kids' tuition, food, water bills, electric bills, right? How long can you survive? Could you make it a month? 2 months? 3 months? Right? If you can't make it a month, then guess what? You're living check to check. And that's not saying very good things about your spending habits. And if you have the mindset that I will just work more and I can spend it however I want, you're going to be behind the 8 ball because you're working to make up for what you're spending. And what happens if that work just suddenly disappears? Now, let's say you're in a better situation. Let's say you're in a situation where you own your own business. Maybe you're a trader. You're seeing good profits and you're saying, okay, I'm just going to make more money in the markets and I can spend it however I want, right? You're not really gaining wealth. You're what I call running on the treadmill, right? You know what that means? You're running, you're getting faster and faster. You're doing more work. But are you actually going anywhere? Are you actually going anywhere? And guess what happens on the treadmill? You can't run forever. At some point, you are going to get tired. At some point, you are going to get tired of doing whatever it takes to earn that extra money, to earn that extra income. And your spending habits are going to be the same, right? So you're going to get tired. That treadmill is going to keep rolling. And guess what's going to happen? Boom. You're going to fall off. It's the same thing financially. It's the same thing. And it's a shame because we're looking at businesses right now. I've had so many conversations with people, with businesses who are laying off people. Businesses are closing down. And it's like, why? We've been in a crisis for what? I think at the most, at least, speaking for here in the States at least, a month? February? You're going to tell me your business can't survive a month with less income or no income to the point you have to lay people off? How strong is your business? What type of business practices are you operating? Now, again, I know everyone's in a different situation, and I'm not going to pretend like I know how it is in every business, but I would think any strong business, I would think you look at your Apples and your Microsofts and your Walmarts and look at your best businesses out there. Are they going to fold up after a month? No. Because they're practicing good spending habits in the background. They're practicing good spending habits, and they're keeping more of the money that they make. They're investing it. They're saving it. They're creating a cash buffer, a doomsday fund, or it's making money for them. And it's just incredible. It's incredible. I'm so pissed off at this this thing because people are reading this, and you can see again, 40% of the people initially agreed with it, said, yeah, just make more money. And that is the mindset that we're being taught, right? Just work more. Spend it on wherever you want. Work more, spend it all. Load that credit card up. It's free money. Take out a loan. It's free money. And that's one of the biggest reasons. It's one of the biggest reasons we're in the situation we are now. Even at the highest level, if you take a look at the U.S. government, right? Now, the U.S. government is I would say they're in a little bit of a different situation, right? Especially here in the U.S. because I always like to say, us here in the U.S., we have the luxury of being able to cheat. But you look at the U.S. government and right, $20+ trillion of debt that we have, and they're always increasing tax revenues and stuff like that, and that's their way of bringing in income. Essentially, they're increasing how they bring in income, but at the same time, they're spending at a higher rate each and every year. Right? Not to mention the fact they've got outstanding bills of amazing amounts of interest that they've got to pay back as well. Right? They're behind the 8 ball forever. Now again, they can, we can cheat. But if you look at it as an individual, you're screwed. You are screwed. So I don't want to, I do want to change your mind. I take the back and say, I don't want to change your mind. I want you guys to be open and blah, 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 blah. But this is one where there is directly a wrong or right way of thinking. And if you're thinking that the key to wealth creation, right, time and money, right, if you think the key to wealth creation is just working harder and keeping bad spending habits, you're screwed. You are screwed. You need to change it right now. You need to do a deep look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, do I really want to be wealthy or just do I want to be rich? Or if you even know the difference between the two. Because it's killing us out there. It's killing us at a small level, a micro level. It's killing us at a macro level. And I don't want to say it's shameful because you don't know what you don't know. And again, I go back to the poll I ran. It went from 60-40 to 80-20. Because some people are hearing this for the first time, and I bet you guys on the podcast, some of you guys are hearing this for the first time as well. So I don't want to fault you necessarily because they don't really teach us this type of stuff. They kind of teach us the opposite, just spend money and work more. But if you're someone that knows the difference, if you understand and you're still making the decision to just recklessly spend money, you're done. You're done.